Okay, ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Ah! I'm glad you're having fun. See, this is how we
lighten the mood. Right?
exactly. I'm very happy that we are here and that we were actually able to do this because I feel like we've been moving the date quite a bit.
Yeah, we were supposed to start in October.
Yes.
With the intention that we might still get some good Rocktober
True.
weather to get out climbing. And here we are and it's February.
It's just going to happen. We're just going to go for it.
Or we're just going to do it. Even with a potential wind chill of -12. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wear your warmest layers. I brought a heater. Portable heater is coming with us.
The crew is just like gathering around the heater, just like, thank you, Amy. Yeah, the crew is happy. The crew is excited. We usually bring up how we meet in this idea, in this hope to make connections and inspire people to start by saying hi, literally, and like how it is that you and I are sitting here and having this conversation. And for us, it was actually that I started following. Oh, you know what? Like it was actually I saw like a social media post for a climbing documentary that was gonna show up at the Rio Theater.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, Majo, do you want to come and see this with me? And she was like, oh, yeah, sure. So we went to the Rio Theater. We saw this climbing documentary made by a nurse from Ontario and how during the pandemic, nurses very exhausted. She wanted to bring women community climbing together. And so she didn't know them prior. She just contacted them. Yeah. And she was like, oh, do you guys want to come together and go and do this thing and climb together? And like, I'll do a documentary about it. And everyone was like, yes. So that was really cool. And then we realized that the VIMF was a thing. Like I had no idea. And it's like the Vancouver International Mountain Film Festival. Yeah, I was getting there. And so we figured out that the VIMF was a thing. And then Majo and I were like, oh, there's this other one. Okay, we'll go to that one. Oh, there's this other one. We'll go to that. We ended up going to so many. And we were just like, this is like so interesting, so cool. And then we would talk about them and be like, oh, like, what did you think? And I think because we're also into this film situation, we look at it and we're like, oh, like we would love to do something like that and get involved. And then in their social media for the VIMF, they made a post about the climbing program where you and I met. And you were our instructor there. And it has, it's one of those little things where like you connect and you put yourself out there. And I was like, Amy, I'm doing this thing. Would you come and be my guest?
I was like,
sweating at the beginning of the show.
Wiping my sweaty palms. Yeah.
And here you are.
Here we are.
I'm very happy. Let's do this.
I really want to see the outcome. Ooh. I feel like that's gonna look weird.
We could actually build a snowman.
Do you want to build a snowman?
In a genuine way of like.
I don't know what's next, but. Coosies.
Okay. Good.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm okay.
So, Amy, how about you start telling me how you got into climbing to start with?
Oh, yeah. Well, kind of a long, convoluted way of getting there, but probably all started back when I was a child at camp. Yeah, I used to go to a summer camp, and there was a high ropes course, and it was always one of my favorite things. And, you know, like, high ropes courses, they have, you have like different challenges, and it's not really rock climbing, but it's upward movement with a rope.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I draw the similarity.
How is it not rock climbing?
Because it's not, I mean, there was the rock wall, which was manufactured holds on a big, like, vertical board.
Okay, I was picturing like outside, like actually.
Oh no, it is outside. 100% outside.
Kind of, right, okay.
But then other, I guess you call them like vertical obstacle courses.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It was really fun.
Okay.
It was lots of fun, right? And then over the years, the camp that I went to wound up developing an area of actual rock climbing. So it was all what we call top rope climbing. And then moving into university days, started going to the climbing gym at the university and also the climbing gym in the town that I was at. So I went to University of Guelph, and they had like an on-site university gym, but there was also
they had a climbing gym in the university?
Yeah, very, very small one.
I
it was
mean,
like
still.
super grungy, but but it was great. You know, and kind of community there, a little bit of outside climbing, but not that much. But where the passion really started was when I lived in Australia.
Ooh.
And I went traditional climbing, trad climbing for the very first time. So you're putting all of your own gear into the wall.
Like those little ones that
like
go
all this,
inside the cracks.
All this shiny stuff on the wall over there.
Yes.
Yeah, the candy wall. And then I was just like, this is my new obsession. I must do this always. And I sometimes joke that climbing ruined my life. As I knew it, because I used to do a lot of different things, travel for a lot of different reasons, and now I'm like, where's my next climbing trip going to be? Like, where can I go? When can I go climbing? What type of climbing can I do there? Or like, you know,
it's all about, like, it revolves.
It's just kind of like everything revolves around climbing. Yeah.
I see. Okay, I mean, you're kind of answering that question, but maybe there's more to it. I was wondering if when you were little, you thought that you would be like an actual climber, like that was going to be your life.
No, definitely not. Beyond climbing trees, like I lived in, I lived in Florida for 8 years, from the age of like 4 to 12, and I mean, Florida's flat. People rock climb there, but mostly in gyms.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but no, I never really thought about rock climbing as something that you could do.
Like I said, yeah. As a career, I guess.
Oh, the idea of professional rock climbing, it wasn't even a concept. I had no idea. Even once I started climbing in my mid to late 20s, I was not really aware that you could actually be a professional climber.
That's
like
still
a successful
iffy for me. Like I still don't quite comprehend how that is a career.
Well, there's different venues of it, right? There's the whole sport climbing, like competition scene, or the bouldering competition scene. And now there's speed climbing. I don't know that there are any climbers who are professional speed climbing.
Okay.
There are people who only speed climb, and that's kind of why they've broken out of the Olympics.
I see.
Right? Because it's like speed climbing is very different.
Its own thing.
It's its own thing, for sure. And then you have really famous outside climbers who do big missions, or they just do things for the first time, and that gets them sponsors or
like Alex Honnold.
Like Alex Honnold. Absolutely. Yeah. And there's lots of, I mean, Alex Honnold is obviously a big name that everybody, even people who aren't climbers, know. But there's lots more of people who have done noteworthy things and have achieved sponsorship and make a life out of just climbing for a living.
Right, but that is not the only way to make climbing your life, right? Like if you don't have to be this athlete, because you could also teach, or like what are other ways that you can get climbing to be like a big part of your life?
For sure. I mean, you can go down the certified ACMG path and become a rock guide, and you can guide people, right? And there's different venues of that. Even, you know, you can do it where it's just rock, or you can do it where it's alpine and rock, and then you become a full mountain guide. And or you can teach from a gym. You can be a gym, work at a gym, or you can work at a climbing store and volunteer or teach. There's lots of ways to be involved with climbing and climbing community, and you don't even have to do it to get paid, right? Like you can make climbing your life just by getting yourself out there and involved in the climbing community. Yeah,
well, you have your like other things that, like your job, and it's like, oh yeah, that's my job. But that, because I feel like there's a lot of, like sometimes it's very common for people to think of their job as their identity, their thing.
For sure. But I mean, I know a lot of my friends who are climbers, and they identify themselves as climbers, work in a variety of different professions, but it's kind of like what you do to make the money, to be able to take the time
to do the thing that you like,
and the money to travel to go, do the thing that you want to do. Yeah,
for sure. I like that.
This is where we're staying, right? Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Yay. Thank you.
Okay. It feels really nice to be back in my harness.
And you kind of mentioned the community. I've always thought, in my very limited experience, and it's kind of a little bit of what drew me to seeking climbing here, the whole community aspect of things, because the couple of times that I did climb in Mexico was climbing friends that took me to try it out. And I always felt like people were very welcoming, and like, you know, because you kind of take turns, because not everybody can be on the wall at the same time. So the people that are on the ground, even like at the gym, because I hadn't done it outside, but they'll start cheering for you, like even they don't know you, but they see you struggle, they see you try, and then they're happy for you. And I don't know that you find that in every sport or every hobby or every activity, but it's something that I've noticed with climbing. What has been the community experience for you?
It's been just that a lot of the time, you know. I find that, you know, I'm not a particularly good boulderer, but I really enjoy going out bouldering. And typically it's, you know, you're going out with a group of friends. And so you kind of build that community there. When you're single pitch climbing at a crag, there's lots of other people around, and oftentimes you have people who are like, oh, like, way to go, yeah, you're trying really hard. And especially if you tend to make a lot of effort noise, you know, you're like, I'm trying really hard, and that draws people's attention, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, you are trying hard, way to go, like, yeah, you got this. But I think For me, I found a lot of the community was just in traveling around a lot and being away from your home area and being in a setting where you're camping, and everyone who is in that area has been out maybe at different areas climbing different things, and you come together at night and everybody talks about their day.
Oh,
They're
that's really cute.
You come together as a group of people who've been doing the same activity all day long separately, and then you just talk to each other about the amazing adventure you had all day long. And I found a lot of community and support in that area.
And another thing that I was wondering about is how, again, because we're kind of looking at the communities and we're looking at Squamish in particular, how do you feel, or what has been your experience in how the community that you are a part of relates to the land?
Yeah, I'd say that is that's a bit of a mixed bag. And I think that there's definitely some entitlement coming from the climbing community and probably other user groups as well, right? We're here, we're on this land, and we consider it our right to recreate on it. And that isn't always the case. You know, we have lots of different user groups, lots of different, like, there's BC Parks, there's the Squamish Nation, there's the City Council, there's private landowners, there's a ton of different parts to our access of climbing. And not everyone gets it. You know, they think that, well, this climb has been here and it will continue to be here and there's no issue with me using it. Or there's, you know, rock that hasn't been developed. But of course, like, there's no rules. Like, I can go develop on that without necessarily considering the other players involved. And then I come from a point where I tend to be very respectful of the other climbers in the area, but then also the area itself. I want to take care of it. I want it to be there for other people to use. And I, first and foremost, love getting outside to be outside in nature and to appreciate the landscape that I'm on. So, yeah, I would say,
a lot to unpack, but
then, you know, sometimes you go out in the summer and you see people who aren't, their value of the land isn't necessarily the same.
Yeah, they're not having like a respectful relationship of caring towards the land.
Sometimes. Sometimes not, but it's a mixed bag, right? And that's
like in anything.
In anything. And that's where you usually wind up having issues with people who are outside of the climbing community because they see they'll see someone doing something that they don't approve of, and then it's all climbers do this. And you're like, but not all climbers. You know, that kind of mentality of the few that ruin it for the many. So that's why organizations like the Squamish Access Society exist, right? To try and maintain those relationships between different user groups, but also through BC Parks and Squamish Nation and Squamish Council and all of the different factors that are involved in us as a climbing community having access to these areas and that relationship with the land.
That's great. I'm very happy that there exists these organizations doing important work like that. And I'll say, like, from my experience, because the reason that you are here today is because I met you during a climbing program that you were facilitating. And that was just like, I feel like it opened my world and it was amazing. And from that experience that I had, you know, it was about opening climbing for women and trying to get them more involved in the community. And, you know, I was looking for friends. I think one of the things I said in my application was like, oh yeah, like it's hard to make friends in Vancouver. It's hard to connect. And I feel like climbing might be a good place to look for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it totally happened. Like, I'm still chatting with the girls from that cohort.
Yeah, that's
We're
awesome.
still trying to get together. We're all like waiting for the alumni day to see each other. And
next weekend.
yeah, exactly. You know, I think it accomplished that for me. And how were you involved with this program, like from when it originated, or?
Not from its origins, but for the last few. So I think that the program is in it's either it's the 4th or 5th year, and this will be my 3rd year of involvement with it. So I think it's been 5 years then.
Okay.
But Vicky Weldon has been kind of the main go-to gal for the whole thing.
Yes. Thanks, Vicky.
Yeah. And she and I are now working together as the core program facilitators. She's doing, you know, so much of the background, and Arc'teryx is funding the program.
And sponsoring the wardrobe for this episode.
Yeah. So, you know, we are really excited that we get to continue to have that program, but also to grow that program. So we'll always do those kind of core intro programs, right? Like the learn, come join the community, and whether that's the winter program or the summer program, right? Kind of a bit of a mix, and maybe eventually we get to expand and offer more of those 6-week intro programs.
Yeah, hopefully. They're awesome.
But for the start, you know, what we really want to do is just continue to reach out and support that community base that we have already started with the alumni days.
Yeah.
But this year we really want to try and do some further learning opportunities as well, right? So there's been a lot of interest from the alumni community saying, you know, like we love the course. We want to learn more. We want to do more together, and just trying to keep that core community going, right? So we want to foster that as opposed to just having people come through and then peter out into their own next? Little world, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Drawing them back. Keep being part of the women's climbing program.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things, and why I started talking about the climbing program, is that because that is my main experience of the climbing community here, is that it felt to me like everyone was very caring of the land, and everyone, we wanted to like leave no trace and just be respectful and enjoy and like have this relationship with nature, because we are out there in nature and we want to enjoy it, and so we must be in exchange caring and
stewards.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like that word. You've mentioned a couple of times traveling.
Yes.
Any like fun or crazy adventures that you want to share from? Because like now that you've mentioned, climbing is now the thing that takes you traveling.
Yes, it definitely does. I mean, I've been a lot of places with climbing, and there's always the ever-growing list of places I want to go. Yeah. I mean, the most recent amazing experience was I had the opportunity to go to Africa with my partner's family, and we did kind of like a family trip through Namibia and Botswana, which was unbelievable. The massive herds of animals is just like mind-blowing. But then, of course, because it's all about climbing, of course, we added on a little climbing trip before we came home. So we spent 3 weeks climbing in an area called Waterfallvoven, and it's just outside of Johannesburg. And it was all sport climbing. So, you know, adventure-wise, when people think of climbing, it wasn't like big wall climbing or long multi-pitch days. It was just like each day we'd go out to a crag and we'd climb a bunch of routes and go home exhausted and happy. And it's just, you know, being in that, but part of it is always being in that, that space, that landscape, that culture. So that's kind of the neat thing about climbing is you can take this activity and go and visit new areas in the world, experience different cultures, and just kind of have a bit of a excuse to do some of these neat travel opportunities.
I find it kind of quite fascinating to get to, because traveling, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I love traveling.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you do it with a thing like climbing or like maybe some other activity that you could do around the world, like you get to know a place through such a lens of like,
oh yeah,
I hear people telling me, oh, the rock over here is this way and the rock over there is this other way, and the cracks or the slabs or, you know, like I don't know enough vocab to talk about it, but
it's like it's very bizarre because you do go, and while I say, you know, you get to experience the culture and everything, but you're not like, okay, for example, you know, we went to Spain and we climbed in an area called Chulia, which is just outside of Valencia. We spent 2 days in Valencia doing the touristy thing where you wander around and see all the sights and the history and eat the food, and that was great.
Okay.
Right? That was great. But then what was amazing was going to the small little town of Chulia, which is, I couldn't tell you the population, but it's like, it's a tourist destination for more Spanish locals than like, you know, it's not somewhere that people who aren't climbers would typically go.
Visit. Yeah.
Maybe there's a really amazing geological feature. The gorge where everyone does all their climbing is incredible. It's gorgeous. No pun intended. But, you know, like you're in that little community. You experience kind of small town life there, and it's the climbing community. So you're, you know, like you travel and arrive in a place completely removed from your home, and you have a community there of other traveling climbers, which is pretty neat. So, you know, that experience that you have at home, going to the crag and interacting with people and having that positive experience, I feel like that exists even more when I'm traveling. Oh,
that's really good to hear. You know, if someone is thinking about like, oh, I would like to go, but like I'm worried or I'm afraid of like, what if, you know, it might be lonely, it might be scary.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're not very experienced, but hearing that there is a community of people out there that they're all trying to do the same thing, you know, and you can find support. That is really neat.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, like even in Waterfall Boven, like nobody, it's not a tourist destination. Nobody goes there, but there's a climbers hostel.
Oh!
And we stayed there a few nights and actually met some single climbing, like single travelers who were climbers who were there, hoping to find a climbing partner to get out and do some climbing in the local area.
That's amazing. The fact that you're like, you need a partner and you're just going solo to be like, I'll find one on the way.
Just like, oh, I'm just here for like 5 days. See if I can get out. Anyone want to go climbing?
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is something that I've noticed. I am on one of those like Squamish climbing Facebook groups. And it's really cute to see people that are like, oh, hey, I'm from here. I'm visiting. I'm in Squamish for like a couple months.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to go climbing, like
and somebody always responds, right?
That
They're
is
like,
great.
absolutely.
Like we need more of that.
Bye.
Bye.
You gonna climb in those?
Great.
Stop I have a pair of shoes that might fit you.
Yes.
Your style.
To put on my shoes? That's okay.
Come and take a seat. Nothing like, okay, hurry up and climb. All right, set it up, let's go.
I was wondering about climbing on my wrist.
I was like, are we, is that what's happening?
Nothing like, okay, hurry up and climb. All right, set it up, let's go. Do.
These are tight, but that might
I feel like I'm doing Chinese fire or carrot twinsies. All right, you ready? Almost got those pants.
Yeah.
These ones just felt more winter appropriate.
Yeah, I know mine are not. Okay.
All right, you ready? Okay. For a partner check?
Yes.
Hey partner, how's it going?
Very
all right, so we're still pushing to get right. All right. Nice. All right, you feel me? You feel me?
I feel you.
Great. So we're through both, locked and loaded.
1, 2. What's that? Okay. It is cold.
You want to do the zipper up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of nice how tight these shoes are. It's helping. Now I'm consciously looking on this side.
And we want face shots, not
Exactly.
butt shots. Nice, Mika. Do the screaming barfies in your fingers yet?
Sorry?
Screaming barfies in your fingers yet?
I'm more like, it's more how tight my shoes are that I don't even care about my hands. But it's helping me climb.
As you get to the top there, just remember we're coming back down, so don't get right up on the ledge.
Okay. So do I want to stay? Where?
You can say take,
Take?
yeah, and then you can say lower.
There we go. I was like, I know there's words.
Yeah.
Okay, take,
Gotcha.
lower.
Lowering. Lean right back for me. There we go. Nice.
Would you say that climbing has given you any lessons that you can apply to your life, either like in relationships or your just
Every day.
just life itself?
Every day. I mean, it's as you grow as a climber, you challenge yourself in different ways. Like as you challenge yourself, and everybody takes a little something different from climbing, but you know, like I've definitely found tools to expand my emotional resilience and put myself in places where I am experiencing fear and how I deal with fear. And
very scary activity, sport.
Sometimes it really can be. Yeah. And even that point where you know that everything that you're doing is safe. You are not actually in any physical danger, but mentally you're like, this is scary. I am scared. I have the fear. How do I center myself, overcome that, and deal with the challenges? And that is a lesson that you can definitely apply to all aspects of your life. And typically, your day-to-day life is not quite as intense as those moments where you find yourself being like, I'm really scared right now. So having those abilities to really recognize your emotions and center yourself and try and carry that forward, and how to work through a challenge is kind of neat.
I like that. Yeah, because I mean the especially that emotional resilience, that emotional like what do people like gymnastics kind of just trying to yeah, I guess in your day-to-day life, you're not like scared for your life, hopefully. But we are so anxious nowadays. So like scared for things in our heads, and not because like we're like there's not a mountain lion chasing me or anything, but I do feel like something is chasing me, or there's some catastrophe behind me, and it's such a mental load to try to, you know, come to a place of steadiness. And I think it's great that climbing is the actual practice of that.
Sometimes it's just like pure fun, right? You can just do the pure fun thing.
It doesn't always have to be scary.
No, definitely not. But, you know, and then if you do, like, that's just kind of one type of climbing. If you do, like, more of the adventure stuff, you really get into that problem-solving aspect.
Ooh,
and
that does sound fun.
Yeah. So
like, how do I do this? Where do I go?
And evaluating risk and risk assessment, right? And all of these things, whether it's climbing or whether it's just any other activity that I've done in the outdoors, you know, like whether it was when I used to do paddle guiding or like hiking trips or anything like that, there is always some risk assessment and problem solving and evaluation of, you know, are we going the right direction? I have a map and a compass, and the trail's gone cold, you know, or like we were following a caribou track or something along those lines. And then you're out there in the wilderness, which is very different from our day-to-day lives of living in cities or towns. And you go, okay, well, freaking out's not going to help. So
maybe freak out for a moment, but then you have to do something.
Like swallow that, especially if you're guiding. You're like, everything's good, we're fine. Yeah, I know exactly where we are. Panic. You know, you can't really do that. You kind of have to open that can of worms and look at everything objectively and go, okay, let's make a calm, rational decision, because decisions that are made when your brain is in freak out mode are very rarely the good decision to make.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. So I love all of this. It's making me so happy. However, I do want to say we did mention that we are more than just the one thing that we identify with. Yeah. I'm curious, what other things make you that is not climbing?
Oh, I mean, so many things, right?
I know. I feel like food is a big thing.
Yeah, food's been a big thing. I mean, I worked as a backcountry chef for a really long time. That's still in my skill set. But and that was also, you know, a way to travel and experience things as well. So food for sure.
Yeah, that's another thing. Traveling through the different foods of the places, that also must be like such an interesting way, such an interesting lens to experience different places and travel the world. Yeah.
But also fuel other people's adventures. So for me, it was a lot of like, oh, I can go to this backcountry lodge and make you delicious and nutritious food. And it keeps you moving outside, enjoying the things that you want to be enjoying and experiencing this great landscape.
So is it kind of like a being of service thing for you when it comes to food?
I think it's more about facilitation of sometimes it's facilitation of community within an outdoor setting. So I really like bringing people together in the outdoors, and that's been something that I've been inspired to do since I was younger, working as a guide. That was always, you know, like bring people together outside, develop these experiences that they can reflect on and have an emotional connection to this amazing part of the world. And like I went to university for environmental sciences.
Oh, okay.
So for me, that was kind of, that's what I saw myself doing was, you know, I was going to be an environmental activist and save the planet. And that's always kind of been there, but it changed and it altered into a belief that we have to have an emotional connection to a place to feel like we're going to put the effort into protecting it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't abstractly get everyone super inspired to protect these places that they have no connection to.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it became more about developing those connections,
Mm-hmm.
getting people outside.
Yeah, I feel like you're totally like that's what you're doing.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of been the overarching theme.
Yeah.
Throughout my life is just trying to get people out there and to care, and not just sit at home and see it on screens.
Yeah. I'm glad, you know, like you are doing that thing.
Yeah.
Señorita. No. Mamacita. That's the expanse of my
Spanish.
at the moment.
Well, you know, if you want to go to Monterrey, yeah.
Mamacita. Hola, ¿qué tal?
Have you gone to Mexico before?
I have.
Where did you go?
I was in Baja for about a month.
Oh, nice.
Practicar mi español. And then I've done a couple trips to España. Been to Chile, Argentina, Guatemala. And then I come home and then there's like no opportunity to practice, and everything I've learned just goes into a deep drawer, deep in the recesses of my mind. I'm gonna like blow off all the dust at some point.
Yeah.
Okie doodle. All right.
Okay.
You are on belay. Climb away. Nice. Get those toes right in the crack. You got this. Yeah. It's hard because the boots are big, but try and find the biggest parts of the crack. It'll be easier to get the boots into. Nice. Great job. Thank you. That's it. Nice. Bravo. You're doing awesome.
Jesus Christ.
So bad. Work it, girl. Work it.
Okay. Wait, let's do it.
Nice. Yeah. Great. Great job. And where your hands are, you can really get a hand into the crack, like right back in there.
Okay.
Thumb and everything. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Press your feet against this side. Yeah. Woo!
We got you. You're okay.
You're doing amazing with the boots you're in. I'm super impressed.
I'm trying to. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, girl.
Oh my god.
Hold on to it.
My knees, my fingers
Yeah.
are so frozen right now.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Cool rock.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Get it. Fuck. Okay, fuck. I don't think I can keep going.
Why don't you take a break? Sit back in the harness. I got you.
Okay.
And then press your feet right out against the wall so that your knees aren't touching anymore. And walk your feet up a little bit. There you go. And that's your lowering stance as well.
Okay.
Nice practice. Stick those in your armpits. Warm them up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're cold.
Groover. First time rock climbing. I'm just gonna go in the middle of February. No big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No biggie.
No biggie.
That's what, yeah, we go to CPC, you know. First day of skiing, go down a full run. No bunny hill at all.
No. Just like head first, right into the deep end.
Right?
Love the styles.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay.
All right. Nice. I know there's not a ton for the feet, but just try and think about where you can get some traction with those boots.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think if you can get your feet right up to where your hands are right now.
I'm trying.
I know you are. You're doing great.
Okay.
So Maho,
Yeah?
if you stick your right hand as far up as you can into the crack, can you wedge into a constriction? Can you reach that up there?
Like here?
Yeah, I think so. I can't quite see your hand at the moment, but
Here?
it looks about the right height. A little higher?
I can't.
No? Okay.
No.
The other thing you can try is with your right hand.
Uh-huh.
If you put it into the crack
Yeah?
and then you tuck your thumb in.
Like to push?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it creates like a camming motion with your hand, and you can actually just pull on that. It's much easier than trying to hold on to the edge of the crack.
Okay.
Yeah, get it right in there, as deep as you can get it.
Okay.
Nice.
No. I think I'm done.
Great challenge.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Find that nice feet up high,
Yeah?
as wide apart as you can get them for stability, and then
Okay.
let your butt come down. Okay?
Okay.
So sit,
Am I
sit right
holding
back.
onto the rope?
No, you can hold onto the rope if you like, yeah?
Okay.
And then, yeah, let your bum come down first.
Okay.
Feet nice and wide. There we go. Yeah, straighten your legs there. Good job. Yahoo! Come to me, my precious. Come to me.
Oh wow, that's further high than I thought.
Way to go! That was freaking amazing, dude.
The shoot for the other part because it's a little of an unknown. So we're gonna show you guys where our plan is.
Sweet. So for every episode, we have this little questionnaire.
Perfect.
So it's just a few questions. You don't need to like go super into length into them. Like they can be short answers. If your life was a color, what color would it be right now?
Orange.
Is that like I always feel like orange is your color? Is that like an overall like that should?
I mean, it's
Amy?
like it's red or orange.
Okay.
I
I see it. You give me orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now it's orange. It's like red is a little bit more intense. So yeah,
We're chilling.
I give you orange. You got it.
If I have you over, what can I get you?
As in a beverage or
Yeah,
a food or
what would you like? What if you're coming over?
fuzzy
like-
cat? No.
I can lend you
A
my
kitten?
cat.
A
Yeah,
kitten?
yeah. You can pet my cat.
A chai.
Chai?
Tea would
Chai.
be kind of like my, like
Go to.
let's settle in and drink a cup of chai together. Yeah.
Lovely. We'll get you chai.
A chai and a kitten. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What's the last song you were obsessed with?
Oh my god. Rihanna's S&M. It was like my
recently?
summer vibe. Like
Okay.
it was like intense. I don't know. It was, like
Fun.
every time it came on, it was just
You're
a
like, yeah.
dance party in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Singing, which I won't do in public, but I will do in the privacy
in the
of my
car?
own vehicle. Yeah.
Works. Awesome. Best advice you've been given?
You can't change other people. You can only change yourself.
Oh, yeah. That one's strong in me. That one is like a rule. Very good. Morning person or night owl?
Depends on the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of vibe with that. Like
Yeah.
winter,
Winter?
not a morning person.
Oh, see, winter, morning person.
How do you do it?
I think it's just been years and years of working at lodges in the winter.
That
And
makes
so
sense.
for me, it's like the cold is just that, like, okay, it's time to wake
to
up and
yeah.
go.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the skiing.
The skiing, getting out early for skiing. For some reason, it's easier to wake up and start skiing in the dark than to keep skiing in the dark. It doesn't matter. It's still dark. The dark is the dark, but for some reason, it's just,
It's
like
somehow it works.
you're making, I guess maybe it's that like conscious choice. You're like, I am getting up and starting in the dark as opposed to ending things in the dark. You're kind of more along the lines of, have I made it to where I need to be tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's maybe just a little bit of subliminal stress that maybe I'm not going to make it to the lodge for the night, or I'm not going to make it back to camp, or like whatever.
I see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or for some reason it just gets too late and then you're benighted. You're just like out there in the middle of the night for some reason. That's more of an
you want to
issue
do
than
it
like
early.
waking up early and being like, I've been cozy. I have all of the things I need, and now I'm preparing for a nice long day.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that the seasonality of it, not just like, oh, I'm this or I'm that. It's like, no, it depends.
It does.
Nice. Yeah. I like that. When's the last time you said I love you?
This morning.
Good. That's good. Starting the day with an I love you. Great day. You in one word.
Oh my God.
It's a good one.
Me in one word. Problem. Yeah. We're gonna go with that one. Yep.
Because problems.
Maybe not necessarily in a bad way.
No. More in like, challenges
like,
and like interesting problem solving. Yeah. That works. Doesn't have to be.
It could be all of the interpretations.
You decide. And last, can you give us a rec of anything? Like a recommendation?
Of anything?
Yeah, like something, either books or places, foods, just like something that you want to recommend to people?
Travel. I recommend traveling. And like, see it, it doesn't have to be internationally. Just like travel around, check new stuff out. I've always found that super rewarding, and sometimes it's scary for people, right? But yeah, travel and explore.
That's a great
explore. That's more of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I would recommend exploring. I mean, you can explore without going anywhere either, right?
You know what? Like something that me and Maho were saying when we first got to Vancouver, or I think it was either me and my niece, that we started doing when we moved away from Mexico, just wanting, being very purposeful about exploring your city as an eternal tourist.
Right.
Just always, because I feel like we left Mexico and we're like, oh, there's so many things that we didn't see, even in our own city or like close, like 2 hours away if you want. And I think when we got here, we were very adamant of like, let's discover new coffee spots. Let's go to local restaurants. Let's hike. Let's paddle. Let's try all the things.
There are still so many popular hikes that I haven't done it in Squamish. And a big part of that is because if the weather is appropriate, I'm usually climbing instead of hiking.
Yeah. Fair.
Hike's just a long approach to nowhere. But, yeah, absolutely. I'm still inspired to explore those things, right? Every year I'm like, oh, this year I'm going to do these hikes. They're still on the list. But that's, they're there. And it's the inspiration of the exploration. That's kind of fun. So
the inspiration of
one
the
day.
exploration.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.